Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Quack Report. My name's Carter, and I'm joined by Nate, and we're going to talk some Ducks hockey with you here. As little Ducks hockey as possible because we are back to it being pretty rough here in Orange County. Oh, boy.
I honestly don't really have the words for, even calling it a shit sandwich is being too generous for it. Like,
Yeah, like it's not even, you don't even get bread to like make it a little better.
yeah,
It's like a moldy shit sandwich.
yeah. Okay, you know the part in the original Jurassic Park where Jeff Goldblum's character just like it's purely a just for laughs scene,
Mm-hmm.
right? Where it just kind of zooms out on him taking off his glasses to this giant pile of shit and just goes, "That's a big pile of shit."
Yeah.
Okay, now imagine that pile of shit is not solid. It is just diarrhea spread out everywhere. And it's all over the dinosaurs, it's all over the vehicles at that point, and they're just like driving through it all, basically. You can't see anything. It's all just brown.
That's an image right there.
That was that game,
I,
honestly.
I hope that nobody listens to this during like breakfast or anything or on their lunch break.
I hope they do. I hope they do.
What a way to ruin your Monday.
Yeah, well, you know what? The Anaheim Ducks and their lackluster play ruined my Friday, along with
That's fair.
schoolwork and whatnot. But like, God, and you know what? I'm sure their play as well ruined it for everybody that unfortunately paid for a ticket for that game when they were, I'm assuming, on a holiday, right?
That's
because
true.
Thanksgiving
Yeah.
was the Thursday, right? So
I'm
guessing
as the whole family, like an
Yeah,
afternoon outing, you're going to go
exactly.
to Honda Center with your kids, your cousins,
Yeah.
your brothers, sisters, aunts, uncles. Like,
Yeah, so I'm guessing that the majority of people there, at least, had the day off, right? Like whether they booked it or it was just a given thing, right?
well, I would imagine that people who were at work were not at Honda Center unless you work at Honda Center. But
Yeah, but like
yeah,
the majority of people that are at Honda Center paid money to go see that shit park, basically. And it's like I feel bad for those people. Like that was brutal right from the start.
yeah,
Right from the start. It was brutal on the Ducks end. It was brutal on the officiating end as well, and that's something that we'll get into later. It was just brutal all around. So, like, if I didn't have to talk about this game, I would have shut that off. If I'm not watching the game that night, kind of thing, like as it's
Mhm.
happening, right? It's normally because I have like something else going on, but I'll go back and like watch the, like the condensed version of the game or like the highlight packs, whatever,
Mhm.
to be able to talk about it here on this show. I would not have taken a look at this whatsoever if I did not have to talk about it.
Yeah,
Because it was just even to just have it on in like the background for portions as I was trying to do like some homework on Friday. That felt like a waste of the use of my ears that could have been utilized for something else.
you could have been listening to a podcast, listening to music.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I
have
could have been
literally
doing
anything else on in the background.
else.
Yeah,
Exactly.
you could have enjoyed silence, maybe. Like,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I could have been in. I could have gone into an isolation room, driven myself mad because I can hear my own heart beating, and that would have been more fun for me than listening to that.
yeah,
And seeing what was going on as well in that game. It was brutal, and it only surprisingly got worse throughout the game. Just to like encompass the whole thing, because I know you didn't get the chance to see it like right as it was happening.
mhm.
But I was kind of keeping you filled in. And I'd even said like that this is just like lackluster, like especially by this like halfway point of the second period. Like that's like for sure not a whole heck of a lot going on. And then I want to go back to your thing from a couple episodes ago of like the team just seemingly looking like they've given up.
Mhm.
That was that game where the whole team looked like they just gave up. Outside of Max Jones in the last 5 minutes to say, screw you, Talbot, you're not getting a shutout today.
Yeah, right. Like that was it. That was
Outside of that, that entire team was not there. And I'm not even going to make the joke blaming it on Thanksgiving turkey and that sort of thing.
Mhm.
Even Thanksgiving turkey could not put you in that much of a fucking coma. It was just like, honestly, that was one of the worst performances I have ever seen, not even just out of this team, but just in general watching hockey in, like, I'll say the last 5 years. And I've seen some horrible games, but that was horrible. I'm sorry for anybody who paid for a ticket for that. You
Yeah,
should honestly ask for a refund.
yeah. I
Like,
mean, you're not going to, but like, yeah, like that's terrible, honestly. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, yeah, I just honestly just forgot that there was a game on at 1 o'clock until I got the notification at the end of the first.
Mhm.
The score was 2-0. And then I was like, okay, well, I mean, I guess I can maybe tune in for the second period. And then I got distracted, didn't turn it on. And then I saw that it was 4-0 at some point in the second. I was like, yeah, no, there's like, I'm not, why would I turn that on? Like,
Exactly.
nothing about that says, oh, I should turn that on. Let's see how bad the Ducks are doing.
Yeah.
Like, no, why? Why would I do that?
Like, and don't
So,
get me wrong, like, there's a lot of fans even like that are, like, obviously that are like fans of this Ducks team that understand that this season is not going to be great.
mhm.
Right? Like, from the get-go, they understood, right? Same as us. We
Yeah,
said, like, our projection, I think, was what, sixth? Because we were like, okay, there's been
sixth in the
some
division. Yeah.
improvements here, but it is going to take some time for like guys to get used to each other. We're
Mhm.
not looking at a playoff spot, but like, they should at least be better than a couple of these teams here and there.
Mhm.
There's been absolutely nothing. To go back to last episode, it's bad that we were celebrating a regulation win
At the end of November.
at the end of November, as big as we were, right? Like, I know I
Yeah.
made the joke of like, oh, we're celebrating this like it's a Stanley Cup win, but like, yeah, like, just like that shouldn't happen.
Mhm.
Like, it's horrible, absolutely horrible. Money Puck right now has the chance of the Ducks making the playoffs, and it's not even December yet. So we're at the Thanksgiving mark, right? Which is where, like, a lot of people will say, like, okay, like, this is the point. If you're in the playoffs, I think it's like 77% of teams that are in a playoff spot at American Thanksgiving are the teams that end up being in the playoffs come
Mhm.
April,
Yeah.
right? And already at American Thanksgiving, we are at a 0.9% chance of making the playoffs.
Which is basically like the St. Louis Blues um, from
Yeah.
2019. Like that's like the chance of you being able to replicate that.
Yeah. It's like, something has to give, especially after this game, right? You let the
Yeah,
Senator
you think
you
so?
let
Yeah.
you let the Senators, who, mind you, they haven't had like a horrible time scoring necessarily, but their
Mhm.
defense hasn't been there either. You let the Ottawa Senators go 3 for 8 on the power play. And meanwhile, you go 0 for 6 on your own. Special teams alone. That is horrendous. Right?
Yep. Yeah.
Like,
Um,
don't get me wrong. Talbot played lights out in this game. The guy put up a 969 save percentage and a 2.28 goals saved, right?
mhm.
The Ducks had their chances. Don't get me wrong. But they only had a few, and Talbot was up to the challenge for it. Outside of that, though, there's not a whole lot going on. The Regenda Carrick Lundestrom line, who only played 5 minutes and 14 seconds, mind you, a 5-on-5 time, which was fourth on the team for forwards, had the highest expected goals for at only 0.51.
Yeah,
You're
and that is an example of like your fourth line being the only line that's in it, because if they're not in it, they get scratched. Like that's just how it
Yeah,
works. So like they have to, no matter how bad it is and how low the mood is on the bench, these are the guys that are basically always going to be putting in their best effort. So
yeah.
and
It's
nobody else was. I would say
No.
after the first period, like they came out like, okay, we have a chance, and then after that it was, yeah. From
Yeah.
what I saw from the highlights, since I have said I obviously did not watch the game, I
Yeah.
did not bother there, but
So again, we were talking like a few episodes ago of how like in the post game interviews, right? These guys are just like they're looking like disappointed, upset at this point, right?
mhm.
And even the I don't know if like quote unquote the hero of this game for Anaheim, Max Jones, right? Because he was able to score the only goal with like 2.5 minutes left in the game,
Yeah.
right? Is like on the verge of tears, basically. Like this is tearing these players apart.
Mhm.
And I don't think it's that they're not playing team defense, mind you, but like they are still playing a team game. There's no individuals on
Mhm.
this team, right?
Yeah.
So this is an entirely a like the and it goes back to like what you were saying of like once we see the team on ice just out of it kind of thing. I think we saw it officially in this game.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So something's got to give. I've been seeing others, uh, with the same thought process as me now of like, okay, there has to be somebody or an idea in mind of who Verbeek wants as a coach, and
Mhm.
until that person becomes available, we're stuck with Dallas Eakins. And I think it was
Yeah.
I think it was CJ Woodling on Twitter had said as well that like, if you just put Stothers in or one of the other assistant coaches, right? It's not really much of a change, which I do agree on,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
Um I mean, hell, you can look at Stothers and go, okay, I get it that the defensive talent is not necessarily there right now. But even
Mhm.
when they were there, this penalty kill was horrible. And that is his group.
Yeah.
Right? So like I'm almost at the point of okay, not even just Dallas Eakins, clear house. That
Oh,
sounds
yeah.
horrible to say,
No,
but
yeah. No, I think
clear
so.
house.
Yeah.
Like you're not doing like guys like Ryan Strome, Vetrano, Henrique, Silverberg, even right. Like these are guys that know the NHL game, right, and
Mhm.
know what they need to do to keep up with it in a way, right?
Mhm.
As much as this game has become a young man's game, as we talked about in the last episode, the average age in the NHL is 27,
Yeah.
right? As much as has become a young man's game, the young guys still need to learn the NHL game in a sense, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
They aren't going to do that though when not even that they don't have a teacher, that they have a lackluster teacher that doesn't give them any benefits whatsoever. I'm at the point of firmly believing that everything we have seen out of Troy Terry, out of Trevor Zegras, out of Jamie Drysdale, out of Mason McTavish, like just to name four guys off the top of my
Mhm.
head, has been purely been on their own merit.
Theirs or from like say guys like Getzlaff or Strom,
Yeah,
Henrique, like the guys that like the veterans on the team that
yeah,
like say Strom we brought in basically to teach Mason McTavish
yeah,
how to be a top six center in the NHL. Like, and I think we've slowly seen that develop throughout the season. Getzlaff was super important with Trevor Zegras last year. Like, so I'd say those guys, those veteran leaders in the locker room, and what they've learned in San Diego,
mhm.
again from guys on the team or the coaching staff, and it's harder for us to comment on that since we don't watch the Gulls games. But
Yeah. Plus the San Diego coaching staff did all just change over this last offseason.
yeah, um, but I haven't seen it. I've seen very little development of like coachable things or like things that you learn from the coaches. Like I haven't really
Yeah.
seen that from any of these players. So it's yeah, like I'm with you that yeah, they're waiting for the right coach because this team is building an identity and you need a coach that is going to fit that identity. And then you also need to wait for them to be available. But at a certain point, having just any coach that's not Dallas Eakins is better than
Just a different perspective as a whole.
yeah, exactly. Like fuck, you could put one of us behind the bench. It like you could put Ryan Getzlaff behind the bench. You could put the homeless guy who lives like near the deli around the corner from your house. Like it doesn't matter who is back there at this point. It just needs to be somebody new. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all you need for the rest of the season. The season's a write-off. It's done. If you make the
Yeah.
playoffs, like that is a miracle at this point.
Yeah. And honestly, it could be even more of a miracle than St. Louis in
Yeah.
2019.
Yeah. Right.
So,
But it just needs to be somebody different because we have seen that lack of effort that nobody cares anymore. So
yeah,
it's so something needs Pat Verbeek needs to do something. And at this point, it's either you need to make a big trade or you need to change up the coaching staff. And I don't know why we would make a big trade because, like, who's going to want to come to Anaheim and who is going to be available that is going to fix this team? Like, yeah, Jacob Chikrin is probably available. We are hurting on defense. We could probably use a good defenseman on a good deal, but he's not going to want to come here. Why would he come here?
And I like as much as Chikrin has been hurt as well, I don't think it's wrong to think as well that like he hasn't been acquired by anybody because yeah, NHL guys get hurt quite often, right? Unless your
Mhm.
name is Phil Kessel for
Yeah,
current guys at least. Um, but like outside of that, it's nobody wants to pay Arizona's price,
yeah,
right? Which
yeah. And so
that's totally
why would
fine.
Anaheim do that too?
It is a very high asking price.
Yeah,
So and yeah, there's no way that Anaheim is going to want to. And I don't know that Arizona would even want them to because actually, no, sorry. Arizona would love that actually from Anaheim for the
yeah.
draft picks, especially that they're
It's
looking
essentially
for.
the best. Like Anaheim has a better chance at Connor Bedard than Arizona does right now. So
Yeah,
like,
a lot better of a chance.
yeah. So Arizona would eat that shit up. Like two high chances at Connor Bedard, and if you don't get him, you still get like two first round picks in any other year, probably.
Yeah.
Like you get that guy from Russia whose name I always forget, Michkov or something like that.
Michikov, I think. I don't remember offhand.
Yeah,
Anyway,
so,
but
something
yeah,
like that. And then the third guy is like still probably a top two guy in any other draft that
yeah,
doesn't have these elite franchise like generational talents or projected generational talents, I should say.
yeah,
So like it's just a massive draft. So like even if you end up with the third or the fourth pick, you're still getting awesome players.
yeah,
But
absolutely. And think about it this way too. You have guys on your roster who have already played with Bedard
mhm.
and also in high stakes situations, right?
Yeah,
And I'm thinking specifically the World Juniors, Mason McTavish playing on Team Canada with Bedard,
mhm.
and if I'm not mistaken, JB Drysdale as well.
Well, it wouldn't have been last year. It would have been 2 years ago.
I
And Bedard was 16 and
but I
no,
think
he was
he got
17 in last year.
I
So
and I,
so
I
maybe
think he got brought onto that team here.
you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, if you want to double check that. So, but at least even with McTavish, because those two are both forwards, right?
Yeah.
You already have familiarity there with each other.
Mm-hmm.
So it feels so far away. It's what I was saying earlier. I'm just going to reiterate it. We all knew that the Ducks were going to be more losing than winning this year. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
I would just rather see closer games than us losing 5-1 to the team that at the time was only one spot ahead of us.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like
Yeah.
the consistent if there's one thing that's consistent on this team, it's embarrassing losses, which that's not a
Yep.
good thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's not going to do anything for your guys. And like I said, like that's where kind of the scary thought of Trevor Zegras, Jamie Drysdale, like upcoming contracts, like, it kind of scares me. They don't
Yeah.
want to be in a situation like that either, even if they know that the team is in a rebuilding phase still, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah. In so in 2021, that was the Bubble World Juniors that happened literally just before the start of the NHL season.
right, yeah,
Um, so Drysdale was on that team, but Connor Bedard was not.
okay,
So, um, and I guess that kind of makes sense because any guys that would have been eligible, but also could have potentially played on the NHL teams, wouldn't have been like they would have been allowed to go because the NHL teams weren't playing games at that point.
yeah,
Um, so there was a lot more guys to choose from then
yeah.
in that case. So
I would like to also believe that Pat Verbeek is a smart man and a smart move, in my opinion. I think we talked about this before. Let Mason McTavish go to the World Juniors
this year.
this year. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, fuck. Like
Like
what?
in
We're
less in
gonna
less
keep
in
him on
less
the
than a
team
month.
because he's helping us like get into a playoff spot. Like, yeah, yes, he is helping us be a better team. But no, he's not pulling us into a playoff spot single handedly.
He's also not really helping us when he gets put on the fourth line.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he was
Sorry,
third line
sorry,
this
he's
time. He
sorry,
was his
he's
third
moved
line in
up to
this
the
game.
third
Yeah.
line now.
Yeah. No, he's good.
But right, like let him go succeed for a couple weeks,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah. Let
And
let him just dominate and get that
yeah,
confidence, and then bring it back again.
exactly.
So
Even more confidence, right? Than the way he's been playing lately, which honestly, like I don't have a whole lot of issues from,
yeah.
considering again, like the teachers around him and the fact that he's doing as well as he is,
Hmm.
right? Like, sure, there's mistakes here and there. The guy's 18, 19, right?
Hmm.
19, I think. Like,
Uh, if he's not 19, he will be soon.
yeah. So, yeah, the kid's going to make mistakes, right?
Yeah.
And he's learning from them. But it's, yeah. And
Oh no, he is
with,
19. He'll be 20 at the end of January.
okay, so either way, he's still
He's still
quite
very
young,
young. Yeah.
right? And yeah, and if you're looking ahead to the future, yeah, you got a potential partner there in Connor Bedard, right?
Yeah, right?
Let him go develop more chemistry
Yeah.
before Bedard is potentially even part of this team.
Hmm. Yeah. If
So,
if the whoever the coach is going to be for Team Canada at the World Juniors, if they're smart, they're going to put Bedard and McTavish together on a line and make it work. And then they're going to get the Anaheim Ducks coaching job that should be available next year. And then they're going to put those two together and just reap the rewards. Like, this is the best.
should be available next year. Should be available as soon as the World Juniors are done.
Well, yes.
At the
Okay.
latest.
Yes. But this is like literally the best resume, I guess,
Yeah.
for have they named the head coach for Team Canada's World Juniors?
I am not sure offhand, to be honest with you.
I don't know. They would have had to, right? Because
I feel like they did.
Team Canada announces coaches. This was on November 9th. Familiar faces as Everett Silvertips coach GM Dennis Williams takes on the head coaching duties after serving as an assistant during last year's event, along with Sherbrooke Phoenix coach Stefan Julian, who's the head coach of the Hlinka Gretzky Cup in the summer, and then Lethbridge Hurricanes coach Brent Kissio and Sarnia Sting coach Alan Latang, and then Kelly Gard, most recently the goalie coach of the Prince Albert Raiders will serve as the team's goaltending consultant.
So Dennis Williams, like you said, head coach and GM of the Everett Silvertips. This is currently his 6th season behind the Silvertips bench.
Okay.
Haven't
the Silvertips been fantastic for those 6 years, or like at least last few?
And he also has a guy on his team by the name of Olin Zellweger.
Fuck, if Pat Verbeek does not hire Dennis Williams, there is something wrong.
It is a massive jump from the WHL to the NHL, right? That is a massive jump for anybody. Player, coach, doesn't matter. That is a massive jump. But this is a guy that's going to have worked with a few guys that could be on our roster. Here, actually, because Everett has it here, I'm just gonna read off this guy's resume, just as we're already doing the coaching search. All right, so under Williams in the 5 years, I guess, because we're partway through this season. So in 5 years under Williams, Everett has earned 4 U.S. division titles, 3 conference regular season titles, and 1 Western Conference championship. His record in the WHL is 203, 66, 11, and 11.
Wow.
And last summer, he got promoted as well to GM. He has also had 11 NHL draftees since 2018, which is the second most in the WHL. He has had 16 of his players sign pro contracts at the NHL or AHL level. He's earned 4 gold medals at IIHF competitions, with as well 4 different players. Carter Hart, might know him from Philadelphia. Ronan Seeley and Olin Zellweger, and Dustin Wolf as well, who's just still been tearing up the AHL over the last couple of seasons for Calgary's affiliate. He has the best overall power play percentage and penalty kill in the Western Conference since 2017, which the power play percentage is just south of 25%, and the penalty kill is 82.4.
Those are damn good numbers.
For the WHL, especially.
Oh, yeah.
Because if you haven't heard us talk about the WHL before, it is a high-scoring league. It is flying hockey.
Yeah.
His teams has the best goals against average in the WHL since 2017 at 2.29, as well as
low for the WHL.
As well as the 3rd best goals per game since 2017 at a 3.63.
Damn.
He has a gold medal from last year's World Junior Championship as an assistant coach. And he won he's a 2-time winner of the Western Conference Coach of the Year in 2018 and 2020, and the US Division Coach of the Year in 2022. That's just like some of the accomplishments that he's had. And then you could go into those, like some of those players that he's coached, right?
And see what they've done. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'm taking a look here at just like the shortened 2021 WHL season.
Yeah.
And just from a goalie standpoint alone, Dustin Wolf is 4 of 5 awards here for 2021.
Wow.
That any of his guys won. So like just on the goalie level, I guess.
Yeah.
And 2 of his guys shared the division goal scoring title. So just completely nuts. And 4 of his guys were named to the division all-star team.
That's pretty good.
Out of 6 guys, 4 of them.
Yeah. Wow. So I just want to do a little comparison here because I'll admit I'm a little rusty on the path a person takes generally to get into a head coaching role in the National Hockey League. And it's different for everybody. It's not quite as clear cut as like a player, we'll say. But we'll take Andre Tournier, who is the current head coach of the Arizona Coyotes. He started last season with them. And I figured that was a very good comparable because it is so recent. And so Tournier started in essentially in the QMJHL as a GM head coach for many years before he became the assistant coach in for the World Juniors for Team Canada during those years in the QMJHL as well. Eventually, he moved up to be an assistant coach for the Colorado Avalanche from 2013 to 2015, and then assistant coach of the Sens from 15 to 16, which, no, that wasn't their cup year or their cup run year. That was the year before.
No, it was the year. Yeah, it was the year before.
And then back to the QMJHL for a year, then flipped over to the Ottawa 67s of the OHL to be their head coach for a while. And then assistant coach of the Canada World Junior team in 1920, head coach in 2021, followed by the World Championship assistant coach in 2021, and then was named head coach. So kind of a back and forth between assistant coach in the NHL and head coach in the juniors before eventually getting head coaching role. Just to map Dennis Williams very briefly here. Head and assistant coach in the NCAA for a while and various other college leagues. Head coach in Everett in the WHL. And then that's kind of it. So I could maybe see him being an assistant coach in the NHL, not just immediately jumping into a head coaching role, but I think an assistant coaching role with a veteran head coach at the helm could be beneficial as like a let's groom Dennis Williams to eventually move up to the head coaching role under, say, a guy like Bruce Boudreau, Ken Hitchcock, Barry Trotz, like those veteran guys who have been around for a long time that are just looking to, make a couple more $1 million over the next couple of years and set up a team for success, both in coaching and in their players. So I think it might be a bit of a step or a leap to make Dennis Williams head coach right away, like as of next year or this year. But I think you bring him on as an assistant coach as soon as possible.
Okay, here, I got another idea.
Okay.
I do like yours, though. I'm not dismissing it.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
You bring Roy Summer up, you promote him, right? He's your head coach in San Diego. And then that's where you get a guy like Williams to be the new AHL coach.
That's possible too.
Right. Kind of get him there.
Theoretically, he'd be working with similar guys that he's either seen in the WHL or coached, like Olin Zellweger.
Yeah. And let him get his footing. And then because Summer's a lot more of an AHL coach. And I think that does show on his resume. Right. But it's, hey, this is at least somebody who can fill in for the time being. And if you would like it, the San Diego job can be yours, but we have this guy in mind in particular. It maybe doesn't sound the greatest maybe for Summers, but or for Summer, but it does kind of, I don't know. I'm just spitballing ideas here.
Yeah,
right?
No. And I mean, it is another option too. You're still bringing on Williams into the system, but then you're also rewarding Summer for a Summer or Summers?
Summer
for
SOMMER.
Okay. You're still rewarding him for a job well done in the AHL. And he'd be familiar with a lot of these guys as well, in like McTavish, Zegras, Drysdale, like a lot of the younger guys, I would say.
Yeah, and I know some people might even look at the idea of even just bringing like remove like Williams from the equation, because that's us just a total, oh hey, here's an idea, throwing something at the wall here. There is nothing like connected of Anaheim and Williams whatsoever.
Yeah.
But even just bringing Summer up as well for hell, even the rest of this season, right? Like, hey, we're bringing you up here. We're putting the interim tag on you. That doesn't guarantee that you have the job, but just somebody else needs to be here.
Yeah.
Right. It can't be Eakins any longer.
Mm-hmm.
All
yeah.
right. It can't be Eakins any longer.
Yeah. My only issue with that is you have to, and there could be, again, I don't know this far or this deep into the system. There needs to be a plan for keeping the Gulls relevant, for lack of a better term. Like, okay, you can take Summer and promote him to the NHL, give him the interim tag, and say if it doesn't work out, you'll head back to the AHL. But you need to have a assistant coach in San Diego that you're comfortable with promoting to that temporary head coaching role, or say a coach from the ECHL, or a longtime friend of Pat Verbeek that has coaching experience that he is comfortable bringing in to develop these young guys. Like, there needs to be, by doing that, you create a chain of events, I guess, that then needs to happen. Whereas if you just bring in a new guy, that's a little easier. So I'm not saying that it can't happen, but there does need to be that.
I think
you need to solve that chain reaction.
I think it could work actually, because both Jason Clark and Chris Spar, this is also their first year as assistant coaches for the Gulls, right?
Mm-hmm.
Verbeek did clear house on the Gulls already.
Yeah.
So the guys that he hired and brought in, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think they do, or like Verbeek would have the confidence in them for the rest of the season, right?
Potentially, yeah. It's a little more delicate, because these are guys that you want to, generally they're guys you want to be playing on your NHL roster at some point. So you need to, you almost need to have a better coach in the AHL than in the NHL at this point for the Ducks, the Ducks franchise. But I don't want to say better, but like,
you need to have somebody that can still handle a head coaching job. Because I think we talked about that before as well, right? That like it almost takes like a certain something to be a head coach.
Yeah. So
right?
A certain personality trait.
Yeah.
Of some sort, or one of a small few personality traits. Yeah.
So I think if we're looking at between Clark or Spar to be that fill in for San Diego as the head coach, right? That would be Jason Clark. He was head coach in the QMJHL for both Shawinigan and Acadie Bathurst in the QMJHL. Clark had guided Acadie Bathurst to a 40-22-3-3 record, finishing fourth in the Eastern Conference and third in the Maritimes division for the QMJHL.
Okay.
He's also been like a head coach and GM for the Carleton Place Canadians of the Central Canada Hockey League. And he was the head coach there, especially from 2009 to 2021.
Okay.
Leading that team to 4 championships between 2014 and 2017. So 4 straight championships. And 3 championships for the Canada Junior Hockey League tournament from 2014 to 2016, as well as berths in the Canadian Junior A National Championship. So I think that's a guy who can handle the head coaching responsibilities for sure. Chris Spar, his career is a lot more of he's specializes being an assistant coach.
Yeah, and it's been a little bit shorter compared to
So I think there you go. I think we figured out a succession plan. Pat Verbeek, you could implement this tomorrow, and I think it would be all the better primarily for the Ducks young guys up top.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. This was definitely a long-winded way of saying a change needs to happen.
Yeah, it's past the point of
aspect,
no
but
return.
yeah, yeah, exactly. So,
I
I
think
don't have anything else to
yeah.
really say about this game.
It
So
wasn't even like overly about the game.
no,
It was
yeah,
just okay. Here's the game as an example of many we have seen, but this is the one that is like the nail on the coffin that something needs to change.
yeah,
As much as we got that regulation win against the Rangers on Wednesday, fingers crossed still, which is horrible, I know, to have fingers crossed for somebody getting fired. But for the sake of this team, fingers crossed you could still have something done before Tuesday against Nashville.
yeah. And I
Or
mean, yeah, like we still have Seattle, right? Tonight.
yeah,
Like if you
yes,
haven't figured it out already, we're recording this a few hours before the game against the Seattle Kraken that will end off the Anaheim Ducks road trip here. And the bar is so
or
incredibly low for that
homestand, you
game.
mean?
Homestand, yes, sorry. Before they go on the road. The bar is so incredibly low for this game. Like already I don't think that anything that happens in this game is going to change the outlook on the season, you know?
Yeah.
And I would be shocked if this was a dominant win anyways. Like
Yeah, no, it's not gonna happen
this is not the Seattle Kraken that we saw last year and in game 1 of this season.
of this season. Yeah. Sorry, I'm gonna correct my thing. Not before Tuesday against Nashville because that is a road game. The Ducks will go on a 4-game trip here between the 29th and December 4th.
Mhm.
I'm calling the 4th or 5th at this point because then you get back home for a week and then you go on the road again.
So sorry, you're saying after the road trip but before the couple games at home is when the change is
Yeah.
going to happen? See, I think that's
I would
already why
I think
why would you give like that road trip? Like why would you give Dallas Eakins that road trip? That's kind of the boat that I'm in there.
it's not for Dallas Eakins, it's for Summers. Or it's for Summer. That's then he's just not instantly on the road with a team that he's new to. It's assuming Eakins would be done on the 4th coming home from Winnipeg,
Mhm.
right? Okay. Monday, or hell, even Sunday, you come up, you do the opening press conference, you get a couple practices under your belt before you play Carolina on the Tuesday night. You get a couple more practices in before
Okay.
you play San Jose. It gives you a little bit more time with the team where everybody is comfortable, I think,
Mhm.
at home before you go out on a road trip with them.
Yeah.
So
I
that's my reasoning for it. Otherwise, I would say absolutely just get them out as soon as you can and
mhm.
bring
Yeah.
in Summer.
Well,
But
I do understand what you're saying and I agree with it in one aspect. The alternative view of it would be let's send the team out with Summer, sorry, as the head coach. And yeah, you're not really going to have the time to get a good practice in, but things aren't just going to change in a couple practices anyways. I think
yeah,
the important part is building the relationship between Ray Summer and the guys that have not been coached under him before.
mhm.
And the best way to do that is on a road trip where you are going out for
Yeah,
meals together and sharing the same hotel room, sharing the same, I guess
mm.
not bus, plane, because this is a fancy club.
Yeah,
But so
yeah. No,
you might not
I
see
totally get
like
what you mean.
you won't see like the big system wide changes over this road trip, and there will probably still be losses and big glaring holes in the system and big mistakes, but you're not going to blame that on Summer because he literally just showed up to the team and hasn't really had a good chance to practice. But that relationship between the players and the new coach will develop over this week. So then when you do come back home and you are able to get that practice in on Monday before Carolina and Tuesday before the Tuesday morning as well, and then those couple days off before San Jose, then whatever Summer says, you'll have that trust already built up and that willingness to maybe change things from that you've learned over the last 4 years from Dallas
Yeah.
Eakins. So that's the alternative argument there. I'm not saying one is right and one is wrong.
Yeah.
It's just
No. And
other way.
I
So
totally agree with what you're saying about the road aspect of it. My
yeah.
thought was just like have the home portion of it first,
Hmm.
just to get everybody warmed up to the idea before just suddenly, hey, there's a new guy at the front of the plane that is like who's suddenly commanding the ship here, right?
Yeah.
It's okay, just have the little bit of a build up and then go on that road trip and really build that up with him. So that's
Yeah.
the reason for my thought.
Yeah.
But like the
Yeah.
road
No, and it does
idea
make
though,
sense.
the
So
road idea though, we both have. I think it's just
yeah.
the idea of what we think would be best first.
Yeah.
So, but yeah,
It's
at least we
in an
can both
ideal.
fully
Yeah.
agree though that it is unfortunately, unfortunately, however you want to look at it. From a humor perspective, it's unfortunately time. From a hockey business perspective, it is fortunately time to just end this relationship with the Dallas Eakins. It
Yeah.
needs to be done. It should have been done a while ago, but like, and I get it. If it is the whole idea of that the guy that I'm thinking of or the idea that I'm thinking of is not quite available just yet, right?
Mhm.
That's fine. But for the sake of the future even of this team, right? I don't feel like you can wait any longer for that thing. I mean, you can still wait for it, but something better needs to be in place for now,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah. Oh,
So
for sure. Yeah.
it's kind of like, okay, it's like, okay, you get into a car wreck, all right,
Okay.
and
Not that car wrecks are funny, but I'm just surprised
yeah,
that you went there.
so you get into a car wreck, but at the same time, you were kind of wondering about getting a new vehicle anyway that would fit better with what you do today,
Yeah.
right? However, though, in the meantime, you're not going to continue to drive around that car that's barely working if it is, right?
Mhm.
You're probably going to get like a rental vehicle or, like borrow a vehicle for a couple weeks until you're able uh to get the vehicle that you do want,
Yeah.
right?
You're going to test the market a little bit. You're going to see what works, what doesn't. You're going to
Exactly.
yeah.
So
You're
the
going to
car
rent
wreck is
yeah, you're going to rent like say a Palisade, you're going to rent a Civic, like you're going to see
yeah,
what fits. An SUV,
exactly.
a minivan, a truck, there's
Yeah.
options.
You want a nice pickup truck, but at the moment it's either okay, I'm going to drive my or attempt to drive my beat up Corolla, or I'm going to suck it up for a little bit and use the rental caravan,
Yeah.
right? It's a lot better than having to push the beat up car for over half the trip, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Well said.
strange analogy, I know, but that was the best I could come up
No,
with.
I think we could have
I think this
saved.
works.
I think we could have saved half an hour by just coming up with that analogy right off the bat, but we got
Yeah.
there.
So
Well, anyways, that we just absolutely jumped into that game and then jumped totally into something else. So we've got
I think there's only one other thing I wanted to touch on
oh yeah,
really
no,
quickly
go for it
anyway in
if
the
you would like.
show. Or like
Oh,
for the
oh,
game.
for the show. Oh, for the game. Yeah, go
for
for
the
it.
game.
Yeah.
Sorry. Purely just okay, the hit that Strome had that he got the penalty for I think it was boarding or cross checking.
Yeah.
It wasn't a
Whatever it
great
was.
hit.
Yeah.
Anyway, my favorite part though was watching it back and you see Strome's reaction to him realizing, oh, the guy I have to fight is Brady Tkachuk.
Yeah, he threw a couple punches and then he took a couple and he's like, I'm just gonna lay down.
Yeah, because like
I tried. That's good enough.
Like he hit the guy and he turned and he did like he expected a fight was coming, right?
Yeah.
Which yeah, good on
Yeah,
him.
he probably
right?
made the hit and was like, "Ooh, I shouldn't have made that. I'm probably gonna have to answer the bell." He knows,
exactly. Yeah, exactly. He knows. But then you turn around and you go, ah, fuck. Okay, yeah, not exactly who I was. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
But it's funny because like you see his reaction. I can't make out what he said exactly, but he does say something like as he looks at Kachuk, he kind of like says something and like looks off to the side, like kind of like ah fuck.
Yeah.
and then like
It was
looks
probably like
back
a
up,
go
and
easy
then
on me, please.
and
Like,
then they grab and go. And I was just like, oh, that is perfect. That is perfect. The
yeah,
the one of the few bright spots in that game. So
yeah, that was pretty good to watch. But
yeah.
okay, we're gonna leave this game behind us now. There's really not much more to say. We will take a quick break. On the other side, we have hit the quarter season mark. Actually, we're at 21 games, so a little past the quarter season mark, but just going to go through the team in general and where they are at in the various stat categories. It's not all doom and gloom. Don't worry, there is some very, very bright spots. And then we've got the regular stuff for the rest of the episode here. And
I can't decide if the quarter mark of the season has come fast or if it's come insanely slow, and it feels like we should be at the halfway point.
Yeah, I know.
Can't decide.
Yeah. But we'll talk about that in 60 seconds. Hockey fans, light the lamp this winter with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL. New customers can bet just $5 pre-game money line on any NHL team to win their game and get $150 in free bets if they do. If that wasn't enough excitement, you can turn small bets into bigger payouts with same-game parlays. Combine multiple bets like which team will win, how many goals will be scored, and more for your shot at an even bigger payout. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use promo code THPN, bet $5 on any NHL team to win their game, and get $150 in free bets if they do. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook with code THPN. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details. All right, so we are going to jump into some stats here for the Anaheim Ducks. Specifically, we will start with team stats. So, points for the Ducks in the 21 games played. Most
are hard to come by.
For everybody not named Troy Terry, who is at a point per game pace currently, 21 points in 21 games played. When was the last time we had a point per game player on the Anaheim Ducks? I don't think it's been as long as we've been doing this show.
Why do I want to say it's like Corey Perry?
It probably has been, yeah. Or Ryan Getzlaf,
or like
but around the time
player.
when Getzlaf was there, yeah. If we look quickly back, did not have point per game player last season in 2021. Oh, definitely not.
Yeah, definitely
Jesus. And then 1920, I guess, was the first year we did this. No, definitely not there either. 1819, maybe.
I don't even know then. I think I straight up think it might have been like 17, 18.
It probably was, yeah.
Or 16, 17, yeah.
Yeah, Ryan Getzlaf had 61 points in 56 games in 17-18. Yeah, that would have been our last point per game player, was Ryan Getzlaf in 17-18. Raquel was close, 69 points in 77 games. Corey Perry that year, 49 and 71. So not him. But yeah, it's been a while. Anyways.
Yeah. Sorry, really quickly, just because I saw it pop up here. CJ Woodling, again, on Twitter, sharing a clip of Connor Bedard, which is fantastic. I'll actually be just south of Regina over Christmas break, and I already asked my girlfriend if we could go to the Pats against the Wheat Kings. I'm like, just so I can pay $30 to go see Bedard before I have to spend like a minimum $100 to go see him.
Yeah.
And it sounds like we'll probably do it. So sweet.
Nice.
But yeah, so CJ just retweeting this and like saying like, come on, Ducks fans, you can't possibly tell me you don't want this kid in Anaheim next year. The caption reads, Connor Bedard has another one. Make it 21 goals and 51 points over his current 23 game streak.
Not only is he almost a goal a game, he's just like, what is that? So you said 51 and 23? That's 2 points a game. That's nuts, man. Who the fuck does that?
And put it this way as well. Last I checked, the Regina Pats, I think, were sitting 7th out of 10 or 12 teams in the conference.
Oh yeah, it is literally Connor Bedard on that
Yeah.
team, just carrying it. But
And
that's nuts.
there's a great tweet here that's like, he's not even a goal per game player. He has how many points?
So yeah, Troy Terry point per game pace right now, 8 goals, 13 assists for him. Trevor Zegras, 17 points in the same 21 game span there. Followed by Adam Henrique and Ryan Strome, each with 11 points, although Henrique having missed a game for the birth of his child, which we will allow to happen. Only once, like every year, though, can you get away with that one.
I right away went to what's it? Was it? Is Mr. Chang on Community, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, just
Senior Chang.
or Senior Chang, right?
Yeah.
I'll allow it.
Yeah. And then rounding out the top 5 on the team in points is Mason McTavish with 10 in the 21 games played there. So there was a sharp drop off after Terry and Zegras, but at least we do have contributions from throughout the lineup. So generally, in terms of goals, Troy Terry and Trevor Zegras both tied. Oh yeah, go ahead.
This is just like reading off the points alone. Again, I think just supports my point of these guys are doing this in spite of Dallas Eakins.
Yeah.
Whether you want to say it's just like, oh, even though he's around in spite, or if you want it to be in spite of Dallas Eakins.
Literal spite. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, Trevor Zegras and Troy Terry leading the team in goals, both with 8. Adam Henrique with 6, Strome with 5, and then Vetrano and Comtois each with 4 there as well. And just because we like talking about McTavish, he has 3 in 21 games played. So, and then assists, Troy Terry leading again with 13, Trevor Zegras with 9. So really the assists is the difference between Terry and Zegras in terms of points on this team. Mason McTavish, Fowler, and John Klingberg, all 3 of them with 7. And then Strome is that 6th guy with 6 points.
I'm going to correct my statement, actually.
Okay.
Mason McTavish is putting up points in spite of Dallas Eakins.
There you go. Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong, the other guys are too, but McTavish especially, right? With like the stats that I read off like last episode of him like averaging 13 minutes a night and still like being in the top rookies and in the top 3 in assists and your top 5 in points. Like Jesus Christ. Imagine if this kid was utilized properly.
Yeah, right.
Where would he be?
Yeah.
Oh man.
I wasn't planning on going through shooting percentage, but it is kind of interesting, so I do want to mention it.
Yeah, please do, because I actually don't.
Yeah, Trevor Zegras leads the team in shot percentage with 16%, and his 8 goals on 50 shots. Troy Terry.
That is something that could potentially. Like, it's a little high, but it could be manageable almost.
Yeah. Comtois also with 16, but 4 goals on 25 shots, so he's shooting a lot less. Adam Henrique and Strome just a little over 15%, and both of them 38 and 33 shots, so not a ton there either. Troy Terry has turned into a goal machine this year, obviously, because he's leading or tied for the lead with 8 goals, but 70 shots, which is the high for the team, and 11.4% shooting percentage, which is like, again, a little high, but like sustainable. So he is doing it just through sheer volume, but also like it's going in for him. So
yeah, like a Troy Terry one is 100% manageable, I think.
Oh,
like that's a realistic one, and like that's still decent.
Yeah,
like Troy Terry's is one that could still go higher.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Right.
And then Frank Vetrano, he second on the team in shots with 62, but just snake bitten with a 6.5% like shooting percentage. So I think eventually the tables will turn.
Yeah,
for him. And I mean, he's never been like a super high goal scorer. He is more of like a volume.
Yeah, shooter, volume guy and like giving chances. Yeah.
Yeah, but still, like his career shooting percentage is 10.1%. So like there
Yeah.
is room to still grow there, and he could turn into a decent 25-ish goal scorer on this team if given the proper supports. So,
Okay, I know. I know you have the stats up. I
yeah,
did find it, and I'm just kind of like flipping through a couple things here.
yeah,
So without pulling it up yourself, okay, I want you
okay,
to minimize the window for a second.
okay, it's gone. Yeah,
Just take a guess. How many guys are, we'll say, 0 and up for a plus minus? I know this isn't a stat that we normally take a look at unless it's like egregious,
mm-hmm.
but just as a team, how many guys have a 0 or higher in their plus minus category?
My heart says 0, but I'm gonna give a little bit of credit to a couple guys. I don't know who they are, but I'm gonna say there's 2.
There's actually 4.
Oh, okay. Can I try and guess who
Sure.
some of them are? I'm gonna say I'm gonna say that Cam Fowler. Oh no, yeah, you know what? It's Cam Fowler. Is he on the list?
No, he is
Oh, okay,
not.
damn.
In fact, he's near the bottom of the list.
Okay, yeah. I thought I said that, and then I was like, no, I feel like not, but maybe. Maybe like a more depth guy, Max Jones. I feel like he's never really on the ice for a bad goal against.
Max Jones is only 2 spots better than Cam Fowler.
Oh fuck. Okay. Apparently I'm bad. You know what? Trevor Zegras.
Trevor Zegras is
If he's third last, I'm gonna scream.
No, Trevor Zegras is 14th out of 23 guys.
Okay. So yeah, I'm not good at this. Just go ahead.
Okay, from so in 4th spot with a even 0 and 11 games played is Nathan Beaulieu.
Okay. Okay. I could see that.
In 3rd,
It's very easy to not be on the ice for goals on this team when you're in the penalty box for fighting.
which gets even better here. Just wait for it.
Don't say Sam Carrick.
In 3rd spot, with 20 games played, Adam Henrique with a +1.
Okay.
And this is where I'm just like, I don't fucking know anymore. In 2nd spot, with 17 games played, Mr. Kevin Shattenkirk.
Wow. See, that thought crossed my mind because I was like, that would just be so ridiculous. There's no way. But wow. Okay.
And in 1st spot, with 6 games played and a +2, Sam Carrick.
Wow. Okay. Okay.
Like I said, like the plus minus stat is just ridiculous until it's like egregious, right? It
Yeah.
doesn't overly mean anything until it's like super bad or super good.
hmm
And like for Carrick as well, his average time on ice in those 6 games is 7 minutes and 51 seconds. So
Damn.
take it with a grain of salt, but
What? Sorry. What am I missing here? That Max Comtois has 44 penalty minutes. on the season.
what? I've seen that too.
Is
Jesus Christ.
did he get a? Okay, November 9th, he has 12 minutes in penalties against Minnesota. Did he fight that game? I feel like he fought.
Yeah, he did, if I remember correctly.
November 9th against Minnesota. Yeah. And then he has 17 against New Jersey. These have to be 10-minute misconduct, right?
They have to, yeah.
For those.
Yeah, they would have to be. Jesus Christ.
Against Minnesota. Let's look at because that's like blowing everybody else out of the water.
So it goes
those.
Max Comtois with 44 minutes to Nathan Beaulieu with 28.
Yeah. Okay. Oh yes, in that game, Comtois, Zegras, and Benoit all got misconduct, and Comtois also ended up with a roughing in that game against Minnesota. So that's where the 12 minutes comes from there.
Right, because that game was just an absolute shit show.
Just a disaster by the end of it, yeah.
Yeah.
And then against New Jersey, that was on the 18th. Is that the one? Yeah.
Sorry, that Kevin Shattenkirk is actually a +2 is still baffling me right now.
Mind-boggling. Yeah, I don't get it.
I'm assuming by looking at his stats as well, considering he only has 5 assists. He just happens to hop on the ice and they score.
Mhm.
Like that has to be it, right? Like
Yeah.
um
Um,
my
the
favorite thing though is Sam Carrick only being back for 6 games is already sitting 9 penalty minutes with
yeah,
16.
yeah, it's funny.
He's like, I gotta fucking make up for it.
He's had some catching up to do. Yeah, that game against New Jersey was Comtois got 2, 5, and 10 for the instigation
Oh right,
and
that
the
bullshit.
fighting. So
Okay.
yeah, which makes sense. So, um,
Jesus Christ though.
but yeah, still it's wild. Um,
Yeah, Comtois, unfortunately, no Lady Bing in your near future, bud.
yeah. So after the top guys, there's a sharp drop off, but like we've talked about on previous seasons, the Ducks have kind of scored by committee anyways, and we've just been missing those top guys to really take the charge.
Yeah,
And now we have
we
one in
have.
Troy Terry. We have Trevor Zegras, who is only going to get better, and he will be in the
Yeah,
conversation for, potentially in the conversation for Art Ross trophies in his future. And then we have Mason McTavish, who is still very young
yeah,
and will be very good. And we will talk
and
more about him when we talk about rookie scoring. But
yeah, and the fact that all three of these guys, like the oldest is 25,
yeah,
right?
right.
Like we have what we've been asking for at least
Yeah,
in a few guys who will like take the charge offensively, which is awesome to see.
yeah. Hopping over to the goalies now. Anthony Stolars and John Gibson are the only two goalies who have played for the Ducks so far this season. Both of them very similar numbers, actually, and they would be as you would expect if you have watched any of the games so far. Stolars with a 3.9 goals against average, which is the better of the two goaltenders there. Gibson not far behind with an even 4 goals against average. And then save percentage, Gibson leads with an 895, and Stolars not far behind with an 887. In 16 games played this season, John Gibson has a
Oh, I got an 891
411,
here for Steelers.
891.
Yeah, that's what I got here.
Ah, I have an 887. So,
Oh, weird. Anyway,
yeah. Yeah, 16 games played for John Gibson, 411 and 1 record. Yikes, not good.
yeah,
In 9 games played, 5 starts for Anthony Stolars, a 2-3-0 record. So not much better, but I mean, in the limited starts that he's gotten
that
in
he's
the
had. Yeah,
limited games that he's been the goalie of record, it's not bad, I guess.
yeah. I'm gonna add the goal save above expected.
Yeah, please do.
Lars leads that with a negative 1.4.
Okay, it's
And
pretty decent.
John Gibson with a negative 4 even. So that's at
You
least
know,
better.
yeah,
He
it's
has
better than it
improved
was.
it,
Yeah.
but
Well, I feel like last time we talked about this, it was about 10 games into the season. So for Gibson, like 8 games played or whatever, and he was at a -8. So that means since then, to average it out, would have had to be a 0 to get it to an average of -4. So
yeah.
he's been just where he should be, and he's just suffering from the early season down in the dumps.
Yeah. I'm taking a look as well for the NHL. Minimum 10 games played for goalies. John Gibson sits 28th out of 31 guys with that
Yeah,
negative
not surprising.
4.0.
Yeah.
Okay, one more time I'm going to say okay, let you can guess the guys. Who are the bottom 3 goal save above expected in the NHL? Minimum 10 games.
Phil Grubauer.
No, it's not showing here actually.
Okay, maybe he hasn't played 10 games then. That is a
Yeah,
possibility.
I'm not. Yeah, no, he hasn't. I
Oh, okay.
actually know
Okay.
that offhand. So yeah.
Okay. Minimum 10 games played. Jack Campbell.
Sits 30th with a negative 8.9.
Yeah. Saw that coming. Who else would be down there? I want to say Kemper, but I feel like he's been pretty hot and cold. So like he would probably be somewhere in the middle.
Kemper is sitting 11th actually at a positive 3.4.
Okay. Okay. Maybe I'm just like really feeling his bad games because I got him in a couple
you have
fantasy
yeah.
leagues. Yeah. But okay. Who else would be down there?
I'll give you one more guess.
Yeah, sounds good. East or West?
Um,
Or is there one in the East and one in the
yeah,
West?
pick your poison.
Okay. Well, I picked Jack Campbell from the West, so I'm gonna try and think of an Eastern goalie. Um, who's been not fantastic so far this season in the East? Columbus. Corpusalo, then?
It's not him, but I am trying to find
Find where he's at.
where he is at.
Maybe he has also not played 10 games.
Yeah, I don't think so. Because I'm not even seeing Columbus here, actually.
Oh, wild. Oh, yeah, they've had 3 goalies. Tarasov's played 6, Corpusalo 8, and Merzlikins 9. Okay. Well, that was a wasted guess then.
So just below John Gibson in 29th spot is Sergei Bobrovsky with a negative 5.2.
Really?
Then you have 30th with Jack Campbell at the Edmonton Oilers, negative 8.9. And then just a little north of us, a little west of Edmonton, Thatcher Demko still with a negative 9.1.
I should have got there. I really should have got that one. That was an obvious one.
50 goals against over 13 games.
Yeah, that's not good. And then he's last in goalies that have played over 10 games. Yeah.
And to compare to John Gibson, Gibson's played 16 games and has had 59 goals against. So 3 more games, 9 more goals against. So
okay. Yeah. So probably about the same then actually in goals against average. Or no, maybe not. Who's that? Vancouver. It's his like actual goals against average because I don't want to do the math. 3.87. So actually better than Gibson. Yikes.
Yeah.
But again, Gibson's had some stinkers. Like he's laid some big fat turds already this season. Not that Demko hasn't, but
see, for some reason I'm having different numbers than you. I got Gibson both from the NHL and Money Puck here at a 0.895.
I was his goals against average, a 4.0.
Oh, sorry. I was looking at save percentage.
Yeah, yeah. Save percentage. I have 895 as well. So
okay, and then Thatcher Demko, I have a save percentage of 882. So not a whole heck of a lot better, but
yeah.
Or actually, not like Gibson, not a whole heck of a lot better.
Yeah. Okay, and then let's go to the rookie scoring race, just because we are invested in Mason McTavish. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He's technically 9th in rookie scoring with 10 points, but he is in a like 5-way tie with Perfetti, Pinto, Addison, and JJ Peterka for that 5th spot. And then there's a 4-way tie for that 2nd spot with 11 points. So he's really only 1 point back from Johnson, Matthias Michelli, Fabian Zetterlund, and Jake Sanderson. And then Matty Beniers is running away with it so far with 15 points. So, like, yeah, looking at McTavish in that 9th spot, you're like, oh, yikes. But it's actually a really tight race if you take out Matty Beniers. Like, he's like a 2-point game away from being 2nd.
And if you wanted to try to put down some money on him with or on Mason McTavish winning the Calder still for with DraftKings promo code THPN there at sign up, Mason McTavish is currently sitting at a plus 1,200.
Okay, so that's a decent return. Yeah.
The guys that are ahead of him: Cole Perfetti, Shane Pinto, Jake Sanderson, Logan Thompson, and Matty Beniers.
Right. Yeah. I guess you got to take Thompson into account, who would not be in your traditional points, goals, assists categories here. But yeah, it's I would bet that Beniers or Thompson would be the guys. Like if you were to award it right now, it would be one of those 2 guys to win it. But obviously we're only a quarter of the way through the season. A lot can change, and if the Ducks can change the coach, get that new coach bump, and then, actually be decent for the last, what do we have left here, 61 games, then McTavish could very easily enter that conversation for the Calder Trophy. So
absolutely.
If you think that's going to happen, if Dallas Eakins gets fired this week, Mason McTavish's DraftKings odds will look a lot more enticing.
Could look a lot better.
Yeah. So, and then the last few stats I want to go through here, just some general team stats, like power play and penalty kill percentage, which we already know where those are at. Anaheim Ducks have now dropped to the lowest power play percentage now that Columbus has actually scored some power play goals.
Let's go. We're number one. We're number one.
Well, that's one way to put it. 11.3% the Anaheim Ducks are sitting at. Still better than that 8% from a couple seasons back. But Philadelphia comfortably ahead with 14.3% power play. Net power play percentage, which takes into account shorthanded chances and all that, or shorthanded goals against and all that jazz as well. Ducks at 6.5%. Columbus, 12%. The team just ahead of us. So our net power play percentage is awful. Just absolutely horrendous.
Yikes.
Actually, you know what? Let's get into that just a little more here. Sort by net power play percentage. Yeah. So on 62 power play opportunities, the Ducks have scored 7 goals, and they have allowed 3 shorthanded goals for a power play differential of 4, which is also the lowest in the league.
Awesome.
Hence the terrible net power play percentage here.
Awesome. I love it.
Thankfully, we have not given up the most shorthanded goals. We are tied with quite a few teams with I guess 7, 8 teams for third place with our 3 shorthanded goals against. Vancouver has given up 4, and you would never guess the first team. So I'll just tell you, it's the Tampa Bay Lightning. We've given up 5 shorthanded goals.
Rip. All right.
They've scored 20 power play goals. So there's that. And Vancouver has scored 22. So like their net power play percentage is still decent. But Anaheim not doing well there.
Oof.
And then just to talk about the penalty kill. I know I said this wasn't going to be all doom and gloom, but we've gotten past the exciting positive stats now.
We're in the doom and gloom stage.
Yeah. Anaheim 65.8% on the penalty kill, behind Vancouver with 67.1 and St. Louis with 68.8. After that, all the teams are generally pretty average. Holy shit. Guess who's top in the league for penalty kill percentage?
I'm not. Sorry, say that one more time for
penalty kill percentage. Who has the best penalty kill percentage in the league?
Oh man. Who's been doing really well defensively this year? I'm gonna throw a crack at like the Winnipeg Jets or the Dallas Stars.
Dallas is up there with third with 83.2, but and then Boston is ahead of them with 84.3. Winnipeg's fifth, 82.4. The first place team is 90% on the penalty kill.
Jesus Christ. Okay, who is it?
Through 23 games, the San Jose Sharks.
What the fuck? All right.
Yeah, right.
These are the kind of stats that just make me go, I know nothing about the sport.
Yeah, right. To be fair, we don't watch a lot of San Jose Sharks hockey, but
it's the one thing that they apparently have going for them. Like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. On 60 times being shorthanded 60 times, only 60 times so far this season. That's not even lowest in the league. That's wild. Anyways, on 60 times shorthanded, they have given up only 6 power play goals against. Scored no shorthanded goals, which I guess is fine. So their net penalty kill percentage is right where it should be. But yeah. And then Anaheim Ducks, for comparison, 67.1% on the net penalty kill percentage, having given up 27 power play goals on 79 times being shorthanded. And we have scored a singular shorthanded goal, which I don't even remember when that was. I feel like it was recently, though.
Yeah, I don't remember offhand either.
Yeah. Anyways, so that's where the team is at. There are quite a few bright spots in terms of points and scoring, and Mason McTavish is obviously keeping his head above water in the rookie scoring race, as we expected. But, geez, knocking shit over here. But yeah, the team stats as a whole are not where you want them to be, and the defensive stats in particular, plus minus goaltending, special teams, all that jazz. So
yeah, not overly.
So we will talk about this in another 20-ish games, which should be 10 and 15 mid-January or so. We'll have mid-January we'll probably talk about this again. That'll be about the halfway point. So
wonderful birthday present for me.
Yeah. January 15th or 14th, 15th would be the day we record the episode. That would be the halfway point. So about a week before your birthday.
Sweet.
We play Buffalo on your birthday, so
I love it.
You know, that maybe for your birthday you'll get a Ducks win. Just maybe.
That'd be nice. That'd be nice.
But, yeah. You were frozen for a while there, but your computer figured it out. It was good.
Yeah, on my end, everything seems fine. You're still frozen for me
really?
now. So I think it's still trying to figure out a little bit of something. But if I'm still here, we're good.
Yeah, no, you're good. You're good. So okay, well, we got a couple quick things to wrap up the episode here. We've got something that we were tagged in by, you tagged me in this, sorry. And this is a tweet from CJ Woodling, who we've talked a lot about them today. So this is the CJ Woodling episode. But he said a few days ago, Simon Benoit trying to score between the legs in front of the crease is the biggest dick energy move I've seen of a Ducks player this season. And just in case you missed it, I've reacquired the clip, I suppose. Found the clip. Should stop trying to use such big words, but here we go. I'll share it for those watching us on YouTube and Twitch, which you can do at Quack Report Pod on both of those platforms if you feel like you're missing out. But here is the play with the shot from the point and just the beautiful move by Simon Benoit. Doesn't score on it, unfortunately, but man, was he close. Defender on him too. Simon Benoit in front of the net for starters, but just absolute chaos. And I love it. I'm here for it. You know what? Let's put Simon Benoit as that net front guy and just see what happens. And if he can pull that shit out and if he scores on that, oh man, I'll lose my mind.
Transfer him to a forward then.
Yeah. And I mean, we talked about this on the other episode, but just because it's still been in my brain since then, I shall award it a big energy move.
It's a what now?
A big energy move.
And because it's the biggest.
A big energy move.
Yeah.
There we go. Official. It's official now. Simon Benoit, you have left your legacy on this team and on this podcast.
Love
Congratulations on having a just massive duck.
Oh, I love this segment. All right. What do we got next?
Perfect. Lastly here, we just have the one upcoming game against the Nashville Predators, which is a 5 p.m. Pacific start, beginning of a road trip for the Anaheim Ducks here. And that's right. I totally forgot that Nashville's arena flooded the other day.
Oh, yeah. So we might not actually be playing this game.
Potentially not. The games against Columbus and Colorado on, I did that the wrong way, but Saturday and Friday, respectively, were both postponed due to water main breaks. Apparently 3 feet of water in some areas. So,
I saw it. There's a clip from like their video room, and it's just water pouring into it.
Yeah.
That's not good.
that's tough. Like, I mean, it's hopefully they've got it figured out and are in cleanup mode now, but it's not something where you can just be like, just open the door and just squeegee it out. Like, when you pull into your garage in the middle of winter. I don't, this isn't even relevant for people in California, but I guess for everybody else, you pull into your garage on a mid-January day after, coming home from work. It's blizzarded the whole time. Your car got stuck a couple times in the alleyway trying to get to your garage, and you pull in, you kick the snow off the tires, and then you squeegee it out the next morning once
Yeah.
you pull out because you got just a nice layer of water in your garage. Yeah.
My favorite part about like doing this show where we're from as well is like there's some things that we just can't relate to with Californians. There's some
Yeah.
things that they just can't relate to with us in southern Alberta.
Yeah. But we
Including-
bond over our love
Yeah.
of the Ducks and hockey.
Yeah, exactly. We just apparently love bigger birds more. The town next door to us had 20 emus on Thursday get loose.
Oh God! Wait, you know what? We're gonna save that for a what's quacking.
Perfect.
After this. But yeah, we do have to bring that
entice
up.
people to go.
Yeah.
What the fuck? What?
Yeah.
Just keep that in mind. Or sorry,
Yeah,
not
that's-
emus, ostriches.
Ostriches. Yeah, there is a difference. So yeah, I mean, it's hard to say. I don't know. I haven't seen anything today on what's going on. That does not say Nashville Predators, but thank you, Google, for understanding what I was trying to get at here. Let's see if there's an update from them on how things are going there. 2 hours ago, to all the fans, thank you for your patience. We can't wait to be back. There's an article about cleanup efforts here that I will scan. Just to see if they say anything. Well, the players continue to prepare for Tuesday's game against Anaheim. Arena staff is working to repair the damage, get the building ready for fans to come back. So no official update on that yet, but it sounds like progress is being made, and hopefully they'll be able to. We had a great schedule for Thanksgiving weekend with expectations of hosting 40,000 fans for the 3 hockey games, but we were unable to open our doors. We look forward to hosting 17,000 of hockey's best fans on Tuesday for our game with the Anaheim Ducks, and we thank everyone for their patience as we continue with the restoration. So
it sounds like we're good for now.
They're optimistic that they'll be able to get it under control by game time, which will be 7 p.m. local time in Nashville there. So hopefully it'll all
5 p.m. Pacific.
Yep. Obviously Nashville with I guess 5 days off in a row now, with a couple games off from Columbus and Colorado. Their last game was Wednesday the 23rd, a 3-0 loss on the road to the Detroit Red Wings. And then no games on either side of this Anaheim one. So it'll be I don't know how that one is going to go with them obviously not even. I mean, I guess they would have been able to practice at like a different location, probably.
Yeah.
But that's 5 days without a game is still tough.
A little bit of a break. Yeah.
Not, and I mean, we say all these things like they're going to matter for the Anaheim Ducks, like winning this game or not. But like, at what point do you just say, okay, the Anaheim Ducks are like a scheduled win for all the other 31 NHL teams?
It's a scheduled point.
That's for sure. Yeah.
Right. Outside of the one game.
Unless you're the Rangers.
Yeah. It's a scheduled point.
Losers.
So.
Yeah. And I mean,
Nashville's currently sitting 5th in the wild card race in the West. 20 games played, a 9-9-2 record for 500 on the season, point percentage. At home this season, they are 6-3-2. And then their last 10, they've been 6-3-1. So
decent. Yeah. I feel like they got off to a rocky start. Like Saros wasn't quite what he normally is, but I think he's kind of righted the ship there.
Their road game has killed them. They're 3-6-0 on the road.
Oh, dang. Okay. Saros with a 3.06 goals against average here.
Those are not Saros numbers.
No, definitely not. But the last few games haven't been good for him. 3-3-4 against Arizona, Tampa, and the Islanders. Yeah, I mean, he's been just streaky.
Yeah.
This year, like,
it's a good way to put it. Yeah, it's streaky.
Yeah, like some rougher games. some good games, and then back to rougher games, and then good games, and yeah, just all over the place. But Lankinen 2.5 goals against average. And yeah, and he's been kind of all over the map too in his, I think, 6 games that was. So yeah, I mean, goaltending, you might not know what we'll run into in Nashville, but you know what you're getting up front with their forwards: Duchesne, Forsberg, Jeannot. Niederreiter's a new acquisition, Mikael Granlund. Their defense: McDonough, Yossi, Ekholm. Yeah, like they're a decent team still in Nashville. So, yeah, I don't know. What do you think about this game here, Nate? What do you think the final score is going to be?
I'm going for a Nashville win. Just seeing their home record alone.
Yeah.
Nashville's like a -12 in differential. I just want to see their last couple of games here really quickly.
Yeah, sure. Especially at home.
Yeah, 4-3 versus Arizona was their last home game. 3-2 overtime loss to Tampa, 5-4 Islanders, 2-1 Minnesota, 2-1 Rangers.
So five game point streak at home.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go 4-1 Nashville.
4-1 Nashville. Okay. The tricky thing about me predicting a score for this one is the even bigger question mark on Dallas Eakins and the coaching staff and just this team in general, like where they're sitting.
I know we can talk so much about like, oh hey, like this would be, and like this is could be a good plan or that kind of thing, until it's kind of like the Ducks winning in regulation. Until I see it happen, I'm not going to believe that it's going to happen.
Yeah.
So I'm running on that assumption until we see something happen.
Yeah. You know, I guess for like the last week, because there was a week ago that I penciled in this 3-0 Seattle win, and then I left it for Wednesday when we dove in a little deeper. I put that in there because I said this was the game that was going to get Dallas Eakins fired. We were just going to see literally zero effort. And then Pat Verbeek will have no choice but to call an emergency press conference announcing Dallas Eakins will be relieved. And I still think that could happen, considering the effort we saw against Ottawa and how low the morale of the team was at that point. I don't see this Seattle game. I still don't see it being any different than this 3-0 embarrassing loss. And the only reason it's not worse is because John Gibson is still going to be making saves, and Seattle may just eventually take pity on us and just kind of turn it into a game of keep away once they see the effort that we're giving back, you know?
Yeah.
So with that in mind, and Dallas Eakins getting relieved on Monday, and then Tuesday is the first game of that new coach bump, I'm going to say this is going to be a 4-3 win for Anaheim.
Whew, okay.
Yeah. It's not going to be the best game, but, you know, the offense is going to be high flying. You know what? Fuck 4-3. That's a basic score. 5-4. 5-4 Anaheim.
All right.
And this is either going to look genius, how, like, basically a week ago, or at the time of the game, a week and a half prior, I predicted the whole chain of events leading up to it, and it's going to look like I'm a genius, or I'm going to look like a frickin' moron predicting a 5-4.
Either way, it's a balls to the walls prediction. I like it.
Yeah, exactly. So
I think it's gonna go the other way of that is not happening whatsoever. But
yeah, I mean probably, but you know, it's fun. It's fun.
Yeah, it's fun.
That's what we're here for. And also, just comparing our scores here with, I mean, we both have not got either or either one of us have not got both the score and the team correct. But in terms of just predicting the team, you've got it right 14 out of 21 times, and I've only done 9. So I got some ground to make up here. So I got to start predicting differently from you in hopes that I can rack up some points. But yeah. So there's also that, competitive gamesmanship there.
But just between the two of us for predictions.
Yeah. Which there's literally zero prize on the line. It's not even like really for bragging rights. It's just for fun. But because I'm a competitive person by nature, I've got to. I still need to be right, and I need to win, even if it's not a game. So, yeah. Okay. Well, I think that's all we had for. Oh no, we've got to talk about the ostriches very briefly.
Oh my God. I thought we were saving that for next episode.
Oh, we can.
I thought we were having the what's quacking on the Wednesdays. Unless you want me to talk about it right now, because we can talk about it. We can. I still have other stuff that like we could have lined up for Sunday or for Wednesday.
I mean, I don't. We don't really have a ton to talk about for this. It's just like wild that it happened. But
all right, sure, fair enough. All right, so Thursday.
Thursday in southern Alberta.
Yeah, in southern Alberta. It's about a half an hour drive from us in a town called Tabor. Come out news reports and Facebook videos of the report was 20 ostriches got loose from a farm and were running rampant. Yeah, we're running rampant around the town of Tabor, which is not a very big town. What's the population of Tabor?
A few thousand, maybe.
Yeah, it's 8,400 as of 2016, so it's a little outdated, maybe.
Yeah.
Sorry, actually, 2020 has 8,711. So it's not a very big place.
No,
like you can drive one end of it to the other in what 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. So
yeah,
not a very big place. So anyway, videos start circulating of these ostriches roaming the streets and whatnot. The one that really got around was this one ostrich that got on one of the main highways in Alberta. And you have RCMP, which are like your state officers, basically. There are federal police force here in Canada. The Mounties, I guess that might be how people know them more as, are like chasing around like these ostriches in their vehicles. And the video that's going around though was this one where this guy like reaches out the passenger window and basically like clotheslines this ostrich's neck. Tries to grab him by the throat basically, and it just launches the ostrich to the ground, but gets up and like walks off kind of thing.
Yeah. So the guy did that and then had no follow-up plan of like, okay, now I got to get out of the vehicle with a little bit of haste and, do some cattle roping. Again, that's probably another reference that is flying over the people from Orange County.
Oh there's farms in Orange County, but
yeah, I don't know if there's like rodeos though. Well, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, good. Anyway,
tie up, subdue in some way this ostrich that you've now clotheslined and tackled to the ground.
It very quickly spread around. I had a buddy who lives like 5-6 hours north, which is the great thing about the internet. Like messaging us in like this massive group chat that we have. Like, did you guys see this? And I was like, oh my God. Unfortunately, one of the ostriches did die. However, the 19 of the 20 were corralled and brought back to the farm. For those wondering, the one ostrich that got hit or that died got hit by a car. And
they were just like running across the highway. Like they were.
I could just imagine how many people in the world do you think can say like, unfortunately, I've hit an ostrich with my car.
Yeah,
like where they
aren't running, in Canada, probably not many.
Yeah, like where they aren't running wild, right? Like,
where are ostriches even native to? Do you know?
I'm not sure offhand.
You just Google ostriches, and like all the articles that come up are like about police trying to wrangle these ostriches.
I love it.
Oh, holy shit! Okay, no wonder this was such a problem. The common ostrich can run at speeds of up to 70 kilometers an hour.
Okay, so what's that for miles
for
for our
miles.
American
Yeah.
listeners?
Essentially, it's like highway speeds within the city. Um, per hour to miles. 40, 43 and a half miles per hour.
Jesus.
So they're tough to catch. Like
They're
you can't
fast
just
fuckers.
yeah, like you can't just like they would get a speeding ticket within the city if they were a vehicle, right?
That's
Like it's
incredible.
so like you can't just like chase it on foot, obviously, and like you're zipping through residential neighborhoods at highway speeds trying to catch these ostriches. Damn, that's insane. Anyways, we were looking up where they are native to.
Yeah.
Africa. The common ostrich is native to Africa, like sub-Saharan Africa, and the Somali ostrich is native to the Horn of Africa.
Like I know we have a lot of animals in Canada at least that like aren't
Yeah.
native to here. Like horses aren't native to here.
Mhm.
But like who's the fucker that just decided, you know what, I need to bring my ostrich.
Yeah, right.
I need to bring my ostriches to North America.
And like also, what
Who decided that?
what do ostriches provide? Like I'm assuming in Africa there would be like the equivalent of like turkeys, you know, where like you could raise them for meals, maybe.
Do
I don't
not
know.
know. I do not know.
Do
All I know is just
people
don't piss one off.
eat ostriches? Ostrich meat is becoming a part of it. Yeah, I mean, I guess you can also eat ostrich eggs. Can you ride
Okay,
an
actually, no, that one I think I have heard before.
ostrich? Yeah.
It's not like a North American thing, but I think I have heard that.
Yeah. Ostrich riding is available and even a common tourist pastime in countries like South Africa.
Okay, that one I have heard, yes.
Yeah, but like for Canada and America in general, what's the purpose of an ostrich? Of having an ostrich, you know? Like
I'm not sure.
what do you do with an ostrich? Like in Canada.
Your browser right now is just like, the fuck is this guy on?
Yeah. Yeah, like I might get a call from the FBI or the CIA being like, what are you doing with ostriches? Do you have we have a warrant out that we need to search your backyard for ostriches? Ostrich meat, leather, and feathers have a high commercial value.
Huh.
Ostrich farm, Canada. Can you farm ostrich in Canada? Here we go. This is for Ontario, but what do Ontario farmers use ostriches for? Eggs, it seems like.
Okay.
Yeah, that's kind of the...
And like petting zoos, but they're like the one animal, don't pet this thing.
Yeah. view them from afar.
Yep. There's a fence around the fence because of their long necks.
Yeah. Yeah. This is just an article about one guy who's selling ostrich eggs in Ontario.
Huh.
Ontario, Canada, that is. So.
All right. There we go.
So, I mean, we still don't really know why they were here, what they were doing, but they escaped and it caused chaos and it was hilarious.
If you'd like to see a funny, well, okay, no, actually, you know what? No, I guess I've called out the challenge for PETA here on the show before. Anyway, yeah, if you want to feel bad as you're laughing at an ostrich get fucking clotheslined by a cop, you can easily go find that video on social media.
Oh yeah, ostrich Alberta is ostrich Canada.
That's
ostrich
all you
Tabor.
have to search.
Any one of those would get in there if you don't think you're gonna remember Tabor. Just Alberta, Canada, whatever.
That's all you got to search.
Yeah.
So
or ostrich escape. It's out there anyways. So
yeah.
Okay, really quickly before we end off here, I have a question for you, Nate.
All right.
Would you rather
Oh God.
be chased by a what's the word for it? Like a cat, like a predatory cat, like a large cat, like a panther, tiger, lion.
Okay.
Would take your pick. Any large cat
Okay.
or an ostrich.
Ostrich, because apparently you can clothesline those fuckers.
Yeah, but like you're being chased by them. They're like it's coming for you.
Yeah, quick stop. Right as it's about to get you.
I don't know, man. Like I feel like with a cat, like a tiger or a cheetah or anything like that, you could appeal to its like cat like domesticated instincts,
I don't
you know.
think so.
Yeah, no, like if
Not a wild one, at least.
well, yeah, well, like one that was like not like like the most wild one, but like one that had been like around people generally, like has seen people, like not like in a zoo, like not like a domesticated one, but say like a tiger in Africa who lived on a common tourist route and was used to like the noise of the people coming by in like their carts and uh, eventually got comfortable enough to come up to people and sniff and stuff like that. But then one day it decided to chase you.
I'm still not
Did,
taking my chances. No, no
no,
way in hell.
I
I'm
don't.
still not doing
I don't know.
it.
I feel like you could, if you happen to have a laser pointer on you, you could appeal to that, or like you grab
Jesus.
like one of those big those big leaves, like I think they're called like a monstera leaf or something like that, and you could like dangle it in front of it, and it would lay down and like scratch at it or something like that.
All right, I propose a scientific test.
Okay.
You go get fucking chased by a panther, and I will go get chased by an ostrich, and we will see who lives to give the results of said test.
Potentially neither one of us. The podcast might just cease to exist. But so if it ever just you get radio silence from us, that's what happened. But I don't know. I feel like you could pull some Scooby Doo shit if you were getting chased by one of those large cats. You could turn it into from like a I'm gonna eat you chase into like a oh let's just play and have fun kind of thing. Or like you could distract it in some way, even if it's like I don't know, getting like just tripping somebody else. Then the cat would be like, oh well, this is easier. I'm just gonna go for this one instead. But with an ostrich, if an ostrich was chasing you, it's got like a vendetta for you. Like it's got a grudge where it's like it doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter if you know make it laugh or you tackle it and then get into a tickle fight with it, or you could trip it and you could try and distract it with I don't know plants or whatever ostriches eat. It's coming for you. It's going out of its way to hunt you down. So I think I would.
All right,
I wouldn't stand a chance against either one of them, but the odds are 99.9 or 99.9% death against a cat, like a large cat, and a 100% chance of death against an ostrich.
Okay, you know what? Let's ask the Calgary Zoo if they'd be willing to let us test this, because they do have ostriches at the Calgary Zoo as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So yeah, we can ask we can ask the Calgary Zoo. Hey, will you let us test between a I don't know. Let's pick a jaguar and an ostrich.
Yeah.
Jeez.
This is lastly here from Quora.com.
The non-hockey shit that we talk about on the show.
I know it's wild. We had a lot of hockey conversation for the first bit, so now we're just having fun. So on Quora.com, somebody asked, how many people are killed each year by unlikely animals? So this is open-ended question for unlikely animals. The top response lists a few different animals, but the first one they say are ostriches. And these birds kill about 7 people every year, which isn't a lot, but it's more than you would think.
Yeah.
So how many? Here, let's go. Jaguar, because you said that jaguar deaths per year, and then we'll wrap up. Jaguars, Average of 24 deaths per year. So like, yeah, it's more, but it's not that many more. It's not like, oh, thousands of people are killed by jaguars every year, and then only 7 for ostriches. Like,
I mean, that's quite a bit more.
Well, yeah, but like in my mind, I was
That's like
thinking,
another
oh,
like that's like 3.5 times as many people if I'm doing that math right off the top
no,
of my
yeah,
head.
you're right. No, it is, and it's still tragic that 24 people die from a jaguar every year. But like in my mind, it was okay. Jaguars kill thousands of people every year, and ostriches only 7. Panthers 27. Oh no, wait. This is how many panthers are killed each year. Okay.
Oh my God.
People deaths per year by panther. What? Why is it giving me? Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't matter.
What has this show become?
Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, let us know in the comments if you would rather be chased by an ostrich or a large cat.
You know what? I'll just start the wrap up because I don't know how much more south we can go on this episode. If you want to just, secretly let me know that, yeah, Carter is absolutely fucked getting chased by the cat compared to me or anybody else by an ostrich, you can message me on Twitter at Tatenamas, TATENHOMAS, or you can just publicly tweet it at me and I will tag Carter in it anyway.
Yeah, that works too. If you think I'm in the right here, or actually, you know what? Better if anybody has ever been chased by an ostrich or had an experience with an ostrich, or you know what? Even if you've just eaten ostrich, egg, meat, otherwise, let us know. If anybody has any more info on ostriches, just in general, I would love to hear it. At Carter_Potts, POTTS_97. Thank you guys very much for tuning in to this roller coaster of an episode where we went from firing Dallas Eakins and how much the Ducks suck to ostriches. Thank you very much. Go Ducks, go. We will see you next time.